Hello, welcome. And we have a earlier presentation, discussion, and a meeting of artistic minds today with welcoming Constantine Zeus back with us. He's been here before. We've had an article with Constantine, and he's here to talk about a book that he's writing called How to Be a Good Artist. It's about, the chapter we're talking about rather, is about the communication of art and how that goes hand in hand with the presentation itself. So I'd like to welcome Constantine to the show today. Welcome back, Constantine. Nice to see you. So the idea of a book, very interesting one, and a good form of expression in itself. When did that come about, and what did you actually have as the trigger for starting this book?
Where the book I actually first published the first edition in 2021 or 2022, if I remember correctly, around that time. But now I've reworked the edition and I'm gonna republish it again with some corrections and altering some of the things inside, but slightly though. I'm adding a few more images and things of that nature. But basically, it was essays that
Essays.
over the years I'd written, and it was quite literally like thoughts that I would have myself. How can I progress? How can I excel in my craft? And what does this whole thing mean really? And
That's the key
why do we
question.
do it? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because it's one thing that you want to, well, as an artist anyway, that you want to put the paint on the canvas, which is very satisfactory, and at the end of the day, this, I guess, what I enjoy the most. But maybe to both find the meaning in it as well as add meaning to it by uh, perhaps try to utilize it as a medium or as a tool to communicate certain things. And it was just literally, I was thinking with my partner at the time. We were kind of having this kind of discussion, and I thought, why don't I put this all in a book and hopefully assist other artists as well, or at the very least spark a conversation.
Mm.
Because hearing feedback back, and just other people tell me their opinions and so on. So and we start a conversation, like a back and forth.
It certainly does do that.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
You've kindly presented to me the first chapter for perusal, and that's
It
been,
was a third. It was the third chapter, as a matter of fact.
sorry, the
Yes.
first one for me to read, the third one in
Yes.
the book. And it comes
Yeah.
from your chapter 3, entitled The Secret to Mastering Artistic Expression and Intelligence. There's a
Yes. This
very
is the
deep
title.
layered section there,
Yeah.
and it's
This is
great
the
because
title
of
of the
that.
book, and it has a secondary title, which is "Mentality Theories and Information."
Yes, yes,
Which, as I said, is based on all these thoughts that I had and philosophies and approaches, mentality. What is it I feel that an artist needs to have in order to excel, progress, and all that stuff?
yeah, yeah. It's a one thing that people don't always recognize. They're aware, maybe, is that art and psychology are very well hand in hand. There's
Yes, I would agree. So.
those who studied it, of course, understand that, because a lot of their courses are to do with socio-anthropological elements and discourse to do with
Mhm.
psychoanalysis. It's there's a statement rather in the third chapter that says art is meant to tell us something about ourselves that we don't already know.
Yeah.
Realizations, finding
Hmm.
ourselves, brilliant. And
Yes.
I know when I've looked at art in any form, particularly those in galleries, you stop and you stare at the painting or whatever form it's in,
Hmm.
and you try to relate to it by understanding what's going on.
Hmm.
There's the relation there. And then you start to imagine yourself in that position, at least in my case, whatever the art is. and then you feel it. It's almost in those three parts. And
Yeah.
how far have you got with the book? Is it actually finished? And
Yes.
it is.
Yes, it's complete. Yeah, it's complete. And I'm just about to basically upload the second edition, rather, which has a few additions, as I said.
Super.
Rephrase a
Yeah,
few things and some more imagery and things of that nature.
it's really good. For those that don't know, it's on the comments here. There's a link to Constantine's website, and you can see a copy of the book there and get hold of it, can't you, as well? I think it's something that you have to read several times. And each time you do, you probably find something new that you didn't yet. It's not the book that's doing it. It's the actual learning and placing yourself within the book, isn't it, that does that, as we said in that statement just then.
That's right. Yeah, I agree. So I think with anything that we read, it takes a good 10 to 15 times to, let's say, get 100% of it. I would say so. Even if it's just an article, a newspaper, or, say when you're hearing something, maybe you're listening to an interview or a podcast these days, or what have you. Every time you hear it again or you read it again, respectively, you discover, at least another thing about it that you kind of like missed the first time or the second or the third. So the more you do it, the more you realize,
Epiphanies. Lots of epiphanies arrive in the form of new ideas and realizations. There's a sentence in the book that says communication alone would, if I may read it out. Is that okay? Yeah. Communication
of course,
alone would not be enough to make an artist great. Art is about communication, of course. I kept wondering, so it's like a biographical element there. I kept wondering until I realized that the answer lies in me being myself. If there's one thing that every human admires in others, admittedly or not, is their ability to be genuine and confident in who they are. This is universal. And that's especially true these days when there's lots of different discussions about people discovering themselves and their place in society as well. Art's always been about that in one way or another, hasn't it?
That's right, yeah. And I think it's quite an old realization, I guess. It goes way back to Socrates, which says, like, be aware. Self-awareness is the ultimate a person can achieve.
And there's a quote also in the third chapter to do with that. In order to move the world, we first have to move ourselves.
That's right, yeah. They sort of go hand in hand, because you realize, you discover yourself, you gain better control of it, of yourself. So you start becoming aware and do things, say things, whilst you're aware of what is it you're doing and potentially the effect that this is going to have on yourself and others, and so on and so on. So it's quite powerful, really. So you gain control of situations and you're mastering yourself in a way. The more you do it.
So a question to you then. Before writing the book, I imagine when you do write the book, when anyone writes a book, there's a lot of self-reflection and to do with internal thoughts and how you fit into the story and so on. Did you find that before even starting that level of self-appraisal, self-reflection and whatnot, that the art had was a different product than after you had done the book? The way you look at your art?
I would say so, yeah, because pretty much this is what was happening. What I'm talking about in the book is what was happening to me as well. I was having these realizations, and I truly felt that I'd gotten better because I had a little bit more control of, like, what am I trying to say here? What am I trying to do? What am I trying to depict and show to others? Then again, braveness and boldness come along with that as well, because you have to be brave to, say what you have to say, and take the feedback.
Yeah, that's a key thing, feedback.
Yeah.
And sometimes, of course, depending on the kind of expression, the feedback is supposed to be negative because you're
Hmm.
supposed to affect people and bring up certain feelings and so on. In other arenas, it's supposed to be positive. So the question is whether the intention was there and it has been carried through, I guess. Is that one of the considerations, would you say?
The intention of what exactly? Sorry, just to.
So when you're producing the work, the
Yeah.
art, the
Yeah.
intention of what you want the reaction to be in the viewer comes through, doesn't it? So
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. That's when you start putting all the elements together and all the factors come into play. And for instance, technique that I speak about as
yeah,
well, how important it is, but not enough. When alone, it's just not enough. Um, but that's when you start utilizing all those other elements of it, and then you can really be precise and target and cause certain reactions
mm, yeah, that's beautiful. That's
from people.
there's the element right there. And
Yeah, I think so.
many people have looked at to name two examples, Van Gogh or Van
Hmm.
Gogh, as they say in certain countries, or
Yeah.
Salvador Dali. Why?
Uh-huh.
What were they thinking when they made those pieces of art? And your book discusses those angles, not necessarily on
Uh-huh.
those people, but the human
Yeah.
state as well. I certainly want to get hold of a copy so I can see what's going on there as well.
Hmm.
And it's superb. Now, you mentioned, if I may draw back a little bit, a festival that you were preparing. Was that at Christmas in Edinburgh also?
That's right. Yes, that actually took place in December and lasted throughout January, early January, mid January rather.
Okay. Did it go
Uh,
well? And what was the overall?
it went really well. Yes, actually, in terms of the events, took place only in the first 2 days, but then because it involved a rather large exhibition featuring a number of artists based in Edinburgh, actually all of them well-established artists, including myself. I had work in it too.
Of course.
The exhibition stayed on until mid-January, but the two events, with performances, the poetry event that we had the second day, and experimental theater, it was actually amazing. It was great. Yeah,
That is good. And how many
yeah.
artists were involved?
In the exhibition, we had, well, including me, it was seven.
Okay. That's fairly
Yeah, including
large.
me, it was.
And each
Yeah,
one,
it's a decent amount. It's a very big space as well, so we filled it up quite easily. The gallery. Um, so we had seven painters. Uh, one of which was mostly installation. There was a bit of like you know uh, two D art on the wall as well, but it was
okay.
mostly rather big installation. And on the second day, the artist performed having the installation as
Okay.
his background. So yeah, it was amazing. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. And it's also a growing space, isn't it? When
Yeah.
there's networking going on and the artists can some of them probably haven't exhibited before, I imagine, or they're
Oh yeah,
starting out.
yeah, yeah.
So
Yes, everyone had.
arts and peer-to-peer, networking is absolutely brilliant. What should happen, I
Yeah.
think. Um, so I hope you do more. I said I'd report on it, so we will do the next time you do one. Christmas kind of takes over things, doesn't it? So
Yes.
we'll certainly do that. Um, really good discussion there. I want to mention the book in an article coming up. So there's more
Hmm.
opportunity for people to see the book as well. Do you have a copy with you at the moment? Otherwise, we can put it on the.
No, I don't actually. Especially the second edition will be available in an ebook version.
Yeah,
alone at this point.
you said, didn't you? Yeah,
Yeah,
it's being
yeah,
revamped with pictures and so on.
yeah. So, and it will be a physical copy in the near future. I'm looking into it.
Super, super. Yeah, thank you very much indeed for your time as well. I do like these discussions, and I always come away thinking I've got more questions actually. But it's live,
Yes.
so we can't kind of rewind the tape and do that. So we'll have you
Yeah.
back on the show when it's excuse the noise, ladies and gentlemen. You're near a train track, aren't you? You're in central Edinburgh.
Yeah. Yes.
So is that the underground coming out?
No, no, no. It's actually just the railway. It's literally by the studio over here.
Okay. See,
So, the train to London and all these trains are going by. So, fast and loud.
and
Even
personally,
the freight trains sometimes I've seen that.
okay, I think I heard a bus as well. I would prefer, I don't know, I'm not in this position, but I would prefer to have a railway near to the window if I'm an artist working late at night, because these occasional noises will keep me going. You know,
They'll keep you awake for sure.
keep me
Yeah.
awake. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure as always, and it's very good of you
Likewise.
to come back on the show as well. We'll do lots of
No
articles
problem at all.
and more discussions.
Yes. There's a period coming up as well,
There is.
which I'm very excited. Absolutely, yes. And I can let you know more in the near future if you'd be interested with an
100%.
artist residency.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm entering the residency. I was awarded an artist residency in a very, very, very popular hotel. Unfortunately, I'm not in the liberty of revealing too much before the PR companies getting involved and stuff. So, but
yeah.
there will be a lot more, which is we're very excited about. So hopefully,
So
we'll
there
hear
we go.
more about it soon.
That's something to look forward to. And I know you can't say anything for PR reasons, but we're looking forward to hearing more about it. We'll update everyone as well, of course, and lots of other things coming up. I imagine you're going to keep us updated on those as well.
Absolutely, yes, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, good. Let's keep it up. Right. Thank you once again, and thank you for everyone for attending. It's really good to see these photographers, these artists, literary people, media producers, and everyone else to do with human expression coming on the discussions here. I really enjoy it. I feel I never ask quite enough, but there's lots to be asked, and there's lots of time to have them back on the show at a later date. If you want to appear, please get in touch. All the details are on the profile here on LinkedIn or Facebook when it's uploaded to there as well. And we'll see you very soon. Thank you once again.